Okay, so we are on live right now.
Oh, it is good. I'm very happy right now. Okay.
So, hi Adam. So, you are clear about what extinctionism is, right?
Yes, extinctionism. This is what I think extinctionism is. This is my summary of extinctionism. You have a
Hmm.
population. Okay,
Hmm.
life inherently, eventually, will lead to suffering. Like an individual life
Yeah.
will eventually lead to suffering. And
Yeah.
I'm going to define suffering as the negative emotions associated with being in an undesirable state of being. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. So,
Okay,
like you are
so
defining suffering.
yeah, define suffering
Yeah. Okay.
as the negative
Yeah.
emotions associated with an undesirable state of being or condition, so like circumstance. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Suffering is a, like
because life,
undesirable. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Go on. Go
yeah,
on.
and
Yeah.
because life ends, that's inevitable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, and what
Hmm.
extinction is saying is a population of people has, or
Hmm.
life in general, has to facilitate suffering just by the very nature of being alive. And so, in order to get rid
Hmm.
of suffering, it would be better if that population didn't exist in the first place.
Yeah. If population doesn't exist, nobody will suffer.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I think extinctionism is.
Yeah. Exactly. That is what extinctionism is. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
and
yeah. So, hmm.
I'm fully against that. Do you
So
want to
what's
go
your
into why?
argument against extinctionism? Yeah.
Okay, this is my
Uh-huh.
argument against it. I've thought about this quite a lot today. Um, so it makes a generalization that I don't think is valid, and it makes an assumption that I don't think is valid. Okay, so the generalization is that we are generalizing across the population. We should be
Huh.
treating the population as individuals, and we should be treating each individual on an individual basis,
Huh.
because it's like one person's naughty, so we punish the whole class, but instead it's one person suffering, so we're killing the whole class. Um,
Hmm.
okay, that's the first. Look, the counter argument to that, but I'll get we get to that in a bit. Um, and the second is an assumption, and that we're assuming that people who are suffering and living things that are suffering want to die.
Hmm.
Someone that could be suffering may want to live. They might want to even live more. Um,
Hmm.
a suffering animal still want to live. Uh,
Hmm.
like a zebra. There's like I saw one of the Instagram posts talking about a zebra and a lion. There's no point in the zebra's life where it wants to die, even while it's being eaten. So,
Hmm.
like, you don't have the right to decide for it to die when it wants to live. And there was no point in the zebra lineage where any zebras wanted to die either. I know we can't say that, it's not certain, but it's pretty certain. Like, I couldn't imagine a zebra ever wanted to commit suicide. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's the fundamentals of my argument. And there's a lot more to it, and depending on the particularities
Okay.
of kind of
So
your
I'll, yeah. First, I'll reply to these arguments, I guess. Then we can go forward, right?
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing is that um, whether an individual want to die or not while they are suffering. Okay. So if you see like uh, the right to die, or maybe the option to adopt, like choose euthanasia, these are all new things, right? These all came up just now. People are choosing, like many countries have legalized assisted euthanasia, right? So if you travel a bit back, few centuries ago, nobody will choose to die, right? And if you see like most underdeveloped nations, right, underdeveloped nations, maybe they don't even have the right to die, right? So if we look at Islamic nations, like their suicide rate will be very low. So it depends on how much rational people are, So for in Islamic countries, they don't suicide because they believe that suicide is a crime. Suicide is against God's will, right? It's against their religion. So because of
Yeah.
that, they will never choose to die, even if they are suffering worse. Okay. So
Yeah.
it depends on the level of understanding you have about this world, right? If you are purely irrational, means you will never get a thought that if you are going to end this life, everything is going to end, suffering is going to end, right? If you are irrational, your instinct to survive, your survival instinct will take over everything, and you will just survive. That's all. That's all what is about animals. Even if you take a dog, if you skin the dog alive, if you chop off his limbs, the dog will still try to survive, even though we know that there is no point in surviving, right? If you meet a dog who met with an accident, like like there is no way out of it and is extremely in pain, you will have to choose to euthanize that dog. Dog will never say that I want to die, because dog doesn't have an idea what death is, right? Dog doesn't have that concept, right? Even the
Yeah.
humans doesn't have
Well,
that concept. Even let me
but
complete, let me
dog
complete.
would, right?
Let me finish. Yeah, so majority of the
Yeah. Sorry.
humans still believe in afterlife, right? Majority of the humans who live today are religious people. They believe in afterlife. Then what is the point of discussing whether they want to die or not? Because they don't even know the concept of, like, they don't even know the reality what is there after death, right? So there is no point in discussing that. So like there are individuals who want to die because they are suffering. You can check the interviews of children from Gaza. So when they were interviewed, they just replied that they wish that everyone die at once because they are suffering extremely due to, because they don't have home, they don't have food, right? So and and it doesn't depend on whether you want to die or not, but the basic fact is that if life exists in this world, people will have to suffer, right? Children will get abused, natural disasters will happen, right? People will suffer from tumor,
Mhm.
cancer, all these things will be there, and these things doesn't deserve to exist. Even if one person doesn't want that, there is no, you cannot impose that on that person. You cannot say that, yeah, majority of us want to live there, we want to have fun, even if we are suffering we want to live. That is not a good enough reason or justification for imposing suffering on even a single individual or a single animal, right?
Right.
So pleasure
Yeah.
cannot justify suffering at any cost. Even if you say that from the act of sexually abusing one girl, like 100 or 1,000 men are getting pleasure, that pleasure or joy cannot justify the suffering of a single individual, right?
Right.
So you cannot justify the suffering of a single person who doesn't want to suffer by showing that like billions of people want to enjoy this life, they want to continue this life. That is not a justification. Simple.
Right.
Yeah.
But but like I'm saying, we can't. I'm already repeating the same arguments. Like it's like we can't decide if the community wants to live, we have to treat everyone on an individual basis. We can't treat people as a group. So like, sure, we can make euthanasia legal and let people who want to die die. But like, if I was suffering and wanted to live, I wouldn't want someone to kill
Hmm.
me. If I knew
Hmm.
I'm going to suffer really badly, and I want to live, and I want to have the whole experience. And to me,
Hmm.
there's a divide. There's two steps of difference between suffering and the wanting to die. So
Hmm.
there's pain, and pain causes suffering. So suffering is the negative emotions associated with the pain. There is
Hmm.
misery and depression, which is the mental state that suffering will bring about.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Even that person doesn't want to die. Eventually, depression and misery will eventually lead to suicidal thoughts. But even the person with
Hmm.
suicidal thoughts doesn't want to die. Eventually, the suicidal thoughts will lead to the active desire to die, and that is when the person would be euthanized or killed, or like.
Hmm.
But they can commit suicide whenever they want. Like, I know it's hard; it's a difficult thing to do, but that doesn't mean that we have to do that to everybody, because there was people that wanted to live even through suffering throughout their entire lifespan. There be generations of people where the whole generation, the whole lineage, every single person in that whole lineage wanted to live the whole time. And so why should we extinguish the whole lineage just because a different
Okay.
lineage, someone else wanted, you know? And
See, I got the point, so I'll reply to that. So the thing is that so I am okay if you are a person who wish to live even though you are suffering. I don't mind whether you live or you suffer. Okay, it's up to you. But the thing is that while you live, you'll reproduce, right? You are going to reproduce.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
you know,
in case if
go
your
on, yeah.
in case if your child is being born with some kind of genetic disorder or with cancer or with disability, okay, or with any kind of problem, okay, then what is your justification? What will you say? Let the child grow up with that cancer, with that all that suffering. Let the child suffer and grow up to an age where he can take a decision to opt for a assisted euthanasia. Is that what you are going to
I
say?
wouldn't know if that I wouldn't know if that child wants to live or not. Like even with
Whether
the
you live,
suffering.
whether, yeah, that's what I'm saying, whether you know or not. See, nobody can know whether a child want to live or not. Okay, so once you bring that child into this world, there is no other option. Child will have to suffer, right? So after that there is no point
Right.
in discussing whether, right? So if that child has to take a decision, child has to reach an age where a child will have a proper maturity to take a decision. So you are actually imposing suffering on that child, right?
Well,
So
I'm
if you
imposing
don't know
something
whether
on my child.
if you don't know whether that child want to live or not, first of all, you shouldn't give birth to that child, right? So if you are giving birth
Well,
to that
I'll
child, you are assuming that that child have to live.
I'll be imposing something on that child no matter what I choose to do. Because
Sorry.
if I choose, if whatever choice I make, I will be imposing something onto that child. If I choose for that
Yeah.
child to live, I'll be imposing life onto that child. If I choose for that child to
Hmm.
die, I will be imposing death onto that child. And there's no way for me to
See,
decide which way to
see,
prefer.
see, see, see. If you have gone extinct, if you didn't choose to live, that child also is not going to be born, right? So if that child is not born, you don't have to worry whether that child want to live or not. After birth, only you have all these needs, whether to survive, whether to avoid suffering, right?
And
So
here's the
that is
thing.
a problem. So that's a problem. What I'm saying. So it's it can be up to you whether you want to live or not. But while the case comes like if you are going to reproduce, then it becomes a problem because you are imposing suffering on that child. No child will ever choose to be born with a cancer, right? Or with a genetic disorder, right? So if they are born like that,
Yeah.
you are imposing your suffering on that child. So in case if we don't cause extinction, if we allow people who want to live to continue life and to continue to procreate, it is going to cause suffering inevitably to coming generations.
Okay. Okay. That is
Yeah.
a good argument. I've heard quite a lot. But
Yeah.
to so to me, I think there is value to life beyond the individual. That the
Mm.
phenomenon of life itself has an intrinsic
Mm.
value to me
Mm.
personally, because I see life as the basically the
Mm.
consciousness of the universe. Life is the consciousness of the universe, and so
Mhm.
by choosing to deny life based on the chance that child will be suffering, I am denying the universe itself consciousness. And I would rather the universe have life and be conscious than be dead and
See,
void.
universe is not going to suffer if you deny consciousness to universe. Right? Universe is not going to suffer or cry tomorrow because you have denied consciousness to universe. The only ones who will suffer are living sentient beings.
Right. So I think we need to go back to the
Yeah.
definition of suffering. So
Mm.
my definition of suffering was that suffering is
Mm.
the negative emotions associated with an undesirable state of being. And you know the
Yeah.
Buddhist phrase, life is suffering.
Mm.
That is only the first of four noble truths. And if you take the all four noble truths together, Buddhism is actually optimistic about suffering, because
Hmm.
the second noble truth of Buddhism is that the cause of suffering is desire. So
Hmm.
if there was no desire, if your desire was just to experience,
Hmm.
then you wouldn't suffer, because you would never reach the
Hmm.
undesirable state of being. So there'll be
Hmm.
no negative emotions associated with whatever state of being you're in. The third noble truth is that the third noble truth is that you can eliminate desire, that you can eliminate suffering. So the second noble truth is the cause of suffering is desire. The third noble truth is that you can
Hmm.
eliminate suffering if you eliminate desire. The fourth noble truth is that this is possible in a single lifetime if you follow the Eightfold Path, which is 8 rules to live, which is basically 8 self-help tips that basically mean
Hmm.
that you live harmoniously with nature. And okay, so suffering
See,
is just an emotion,
can I get
and
few
there's a
seconds,
lot
because
more.
I'll say a point just now, because if we continue this point, it might be pointless. That's why. So the thing is that whatever Buddhism says, if Buddhism say that so desire is the cause of all suffering, we cannot just accept it like that, because it's utterly foolish, right? Whether you desire for something or not, if you meet with an accident tomorrow and if you lose your limbs, you are going to suffer, right? If you
Well,
like get, if you get cancer tomorrow, whether you desire for something or not, you are going to suffer, right? Whether if a tsunami comes tomorrow and if I lose my house, if I don't have food, I am going to suffer whether I desire for something or not, right? So
okay,
I don't mind whether whatever Buddhism have said, but that is utterly bullshit. Suffering is not dependent on your
okay,
desires. Yeah.
okay. You can say that, but
Yeah.
what I'm eventually getting to is that suffering is inevitably just an emotion,
Hmm.
and to living is a lot more than just emotions.
Hmm.
Like to me, there's like intellect, there's experience, there's consciousness, um, like there's like to me it's like destroying the whole world because just one thing's wrong with it, and it makes to me it's a massive overstep. It's like sure there's one thing that's like maximally bad, but there's a whole suite of other things that are really really good, and I don't know. To me, it's ruining everything because one thing is bad.
See,
And
this is also an emotion, right? So you want to experience some consciousness of the universe, something and all you want to experience, and somehow you fear about extinction. That is also an emotion, right?
oh yeah, sure. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a good emotion. It's a positive emotion. It's an emotion I like, and I would like to experience it more. And if I die,
So,
I would like the future generations to experience it too.
so you just said that life is something more than emotions, and you are also expressing one of your emotions, right?
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? Okay.
So, so if I plainly say life is just about tackling this emotion called suffering, right? So life is just about that. I can tell you,
No,
because even if you are making all these concepts, right, you are saying that the universe has some consciousness. Even if you are making all these concepts, there is an emotion behind it, because you are suffering due to the meaninglessness of life. You know that life is meaningless, and it is causing suffering to you. You can just accept that you are just a flowing meat in a universe, right? So you just have to make up some concepts so that you can tackle that suffering, right?
no, no, no. Life is not meaningless because life creates its own meaning. We have meaning. This this thing right here. This is a candle holder. This means to me a candle holder.
Hmm.
So I know it's very obscure object, but life
That
creates
is
its own
the
meaning. So
exact reason why life is meaningless.
so so
No,
I
that
believe
is
that
the
your
exact reason why life is meaningless, because you say that a cup of water makes is the meaning of life for you. That is the exact reason why I
no
cannot see any meaning
life,
in life.
life life to me is a meaning, and I
Okay.
believe that all consciousness all are equal. And so, whatever
Huh.
meaning I prescribe, that's just
Huh.
as valid as any other consciousness prescribing. So, if God existed, if God
See.
existed, I don't believe God exists, but if He did exist,
Hmm.
He'd be a consciousness just like me.
Yeah.
And if He prescribed meaning to life, that's just as valid as the meaning I prescribe to life,
Okay, so
or
I am
anyone
fine with
prescribes to life.
whatever. See, I am fine with whatever things you make up, whatever meanings you make up in life, about concepts you make up. I am fine about that until until it until it affects any other person, right? If your concept, these things are a hurdle. If your concept, if you're made up meaning of life, all these things become a hurdle towards the cause of eradicating suffering for all the innocent beings in this world, then that concept or your meaning of life becomes a problem for us. Until that time, you are free. You can make up all these things in your mind. You can create all these stories. I'm fine with that. So if
And
you say that, I have a meaning of life like this, this is what the meaning of life is for me, and because of that reason, we should preserve life. We shouldn't cause extinction. Then your decision, because of your concept, billions and billions and billions of beings are going to come into this
yeah,
world, literally for nothing
and
else other than to suffer.
most of them would be thanking me because most people want to live.
How do you say that?
Because I'm looked at the statistics,
See,
only
most of them means
20% of
most of them means the number of sentient beings in this world is like around 20 quintillion. Human beings are just 0.004 percentage of that. Okay, this 99.9999 percentage of beings doesn't even know to thank you. Right? They don't know anything. They are just born into this world. They are just like struggling to survive somehow. They are causing suffering to other beings. They are suffering themselves, and they are meaninglessly, painfully dying. That's all. They don't know. They don't know to thank anybody. They don't know why they are
well,
existing. They don't
people,
know what happens after death. Right? They are just
yeah, many
meaninglessly.
people
They are just meaninglessly eating each other's and living.
yeah, but they still want to live.
Hmm. They want to
Like
live
now,
because
I saw
they are that is how they are evolved, because only those beings who
yeah,
want to live will survive, and because of that,
and
due
so
to that
why?
evolution, the survival instinct, the instinct to survive, will pass on to generations. But that doesn't mean that
Yeah,
survival is a good thing, because survival
yeah,
is
but why do
causing
we?
causing meaningless harm to generations and generations and generations, right?
Yeah, but why do we have the right to impose death on people or
Why
life
do we have the
itself?
right to? I didn't get you. Can you repeat that?
To impose death on life. I'll be back on in about 30 to 30 seconds.
Sure, sure, yeah.
Yeah. I've returned with meal.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were we? Yeah, I don't believe we have the right to impose death on living things that don't want to die.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
don't think we have the right to impose the inability to have children on people who want to have children. And the majority of children grow up healthy. And I don't think we have the right to impose the non existence on the children that might exist. Like,
Oh, so if you
we
don't
don't
have
know
if
when.
you don't have the right to if you don't have the right to impose non-existence on those children who might exist, you shouldn't debate here as of now. You have passed your reproductive age, right? You should go on, and you should have sex continuously, and you should have like a infinite number of children, because all of them have a possibility of existing. You shouldn't impose a non-existence on them.
Well, I'm not programmed to have that many children.
You are not.
I'm programmed to have like I wouldn't be able to personally raise that many children. Like I've got biological programming telling me what to do, and I'm just gonna follow that. And I
What is that
want to live.
biological program? So according to my biological program, how many kids I can have?
Oh, you can. That's your decision. But like, the decision you will make
so,
at the end
so,
will be
so,
the
so that is your decision, right? So it's up to us whether to bring that child to this world or not. That is our decision. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. And I'm programmed to make it. I'm programmed to decide a certain number. So
You are programmed?
like
I didn't get you.
I'm programmed. I'm programmed by my both my genetics and my experiences.
Huh.
Like, yeah, like this is
Programmed
getting
to
into
have how
your.
many kids?
I don't know. It depends on the circumstance. But like
so so
like
utilize this circumstance. I'm giving you some new ideas, right? I'm rationalizing you. I'm saying you about
yeah,
facts, right? If you are going to bring new beings into this world, inevitably they are going to suffer, right? So it's
yeah.
up to it's your choice, right?
But they still want to live.
So
So why would I not?
if you don't have the right to impose death on somebody, see if beings are coming into this world, if beings are being born into this world, they are inevitably going to die, man. If you impose death or not, they are going to die,
Yeah,
right? So if you are
yeah.
bringing
And
somebody to this world, you are in effect you are imposing death on them, because if somebody comes into this world, they have to die. So if extinction happens, even if we are going to impose death on 20 quintillion beings, it is done there, right? If extinction doesn't happen, this 20 quintillion will die inevitably, and before that they'll reproduce, and another 20 or 40 quintillion will be born, and they'll suffer and they'll die inevitably, right? So how many beings are you going to impose death on? It'll be like number will be
so
infinite, right?
okay, okay. So here's a question. When will it be
Huh.
ethical to the extinction? Like, what's the ethical
Can
way to do it? To go about?
ethical reason, that's what I'm saying, right? Ethical, if you talk about ethics is about good or bad, and the bad thing is literally like clearly suffering, right? Suffering is defined as the bad experience. That is what bad is. So ethics is all
Okay,
about
but there's also
ethics is all about destroying this bad or stopping this bad called suffering. Because just to think
yeah,
about leave all these concepts, okay, leave all these concepts, leave all these philosophies, just to think rationally, just to use common sense. Why would people have made all these concepts like ethics, philosophy, etc.? What is the need for making all these things? Because
to bring the maximum
why do we need
good
that?
and
Why do we
promote
need that? Sorry.
to to promote good and to reduce bad.
So this is leave all those bad and good. Why do we need ethics? So okay, what is
Why do we
bad
need
actually?
ethics?
Bad is suffering, right?
Yeah. So
So bad is
yeah.
suffering. So yeah, the concept of ethics itself was made to deal with this bad called suffering, right? So whatever we do in this world, whether we go to work or we make these all these philosophical concepts, ethics, governments, health systems, judiciaries, whatever we make, all these things, the basic purpose of all these things is to deal with suffering, right? Because if ethics is not
so
there, like crimes will be even more common, right? So due
I
to
have a
crimes,
question.
lot of suffering will happen. If health system is not there, lot of suffering will happen. If judiciary is not there, lot of suffering will happen. So literally whatever you do in this world, even if you are going to work and earning money, that is also to deal with your own suffering, right? Because you need money to have food, otherwise you'll suffer, right? So literally everything is about ending suffering. So extinction is the like only ethical thing. Mm.
So the thing is, okay, we're trying to end suffering.
Mm.
We're trying to end suffering, and we're trying to
Okay.
do that
Mm.
by killing everyone.
Mm. See, have you heard of
So
trolley problem?
yeah, I know the trolley
Trolley
problem.
problem. So yeah,
I
if
always
if a
I
train is going in a track, and the track is dividing into two portions. So in one track there is one person and like trapped there, and on the other track there are five people. So the train is like by default it is going to kill those five people. So you have a choice to pull the lever and deviate that train to that one person. So would you pull the lever or not?
I would cause the minimum death possible.
Yeah,
So yeah.
sure. So that is the thing. So any sane person in this world will choose to minimize the suffering, right? So in case where there is no like perfect option for us to cause zero suffering, you will have to give up something, because this world is not like it's not always black and white, right? Sometimes you will have to cause some suffering to prevent a larger suffering, right? Right, even if you are
But
going
here,
to do work and earn money, right? So doing work is also suffering, but if you don't do that work you will have a bigger suffering, because you will not be able to eat food, you will not have a shelter, right? So in order to tackle bigger suffering you will have to cause smaller suffering. So in the same way, while causing extinction, even if you have to euthanize 20 like quintillion beings, it is actually preventing the death and suffering of like infinite number of beings, because if those 20 quintillion beings are not euthanized or sterilized, continuously they are going to procreate, and the next generation is also going to suffer and painfully die, suffer and painfully die. It will continue, right?
okay,
Simple.
so this is the this. So I have a second argument. I have a second argument to this that I
Sure.
didn't get
Yeah.
to begin with. So
Yeah.
this is a second generalization. This is a generalization across time. We
Hmm.
are treating suffering in the future as though it
Hmm.
is suffering in the present. But the future
Hmm.
doesn't exist. The future never existed. You can't touch the future. The past doesn't exist either.
So. Hmm.
So, like, we are getting rid of all the suffering that might happen that doesn't even exist yet by causing the
Hmm.
maximum amount of suffering temporarily in the present by killing everyone. Um, it's like completely. It is the opposite. It's
Hmm.
the goal. It's you understand my argument. We're treating suffering that doesn't exist as though it does when it actually doesn't exist yet.
See, that suffering in the future shouldn't exist. That's why we are causing extinction. All right.
It'll
So
never
you know
exist.
that if you know that if we don't cause extinction, that suffering will exist, right? You know that, right? Because people are going to procreate, animals are going to
No.
procreate.
The,
That suffering will exist in the
so the
future. You know
suffering.
that, right?
So the suffering in the future will never exist. Only the suffering in the present will exist. And so we need to ask
Hmm.
every person in the present, do you want to die now?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if the answer every single time you ask is no, then we shouldn't kill them.
Hmm.
Like there is no point in the future
See,
where everyone then the future's uncertain. But if life
see
continues the way it
that.
has been, there will be no point in
Uh,
time where everyone will okay, now we die.
hmm. See, in the trolley problem also, unless you pull that, until you pull that lever, the suffering of those five people is in the future, right? So why are you choosing to pull that lever?
Like it's like it's not really applicable because the people that are suffering don't even exist. The trolley problem will never reach its destination.
See,
Like
that's what
just
I'm saying.
because
If
we
you don't cause extinction, they are going to exist, right? If you cause extinction, they are not going to exist.
so hypothetical people in the future will never exist because only people in the present will ever exist. Who you understand? Okay, I know that's a tough concept. That's like a very that's a very
See, I
the whole
agree that
idea that we
people in the
make
future, I completely agree that, sorry, I completely agree
yeah.
that people in the future doesn't exist as of now, but they are going to
Yeah.
exist, right? If life continues. Yeah.
Well, eventually, the present is changing. The present is changing, but
Uh, hmm,
like we, it's like, and also we're making drastic decisions on stuff that
hmm,
might like. Also, okay, the world today that is today is so different to how it was 100 years ago, and the world
hmm,
100 years ago was so different how it was 10,000 years ago. We don't know
hmm.
what the future
Okay.
holds. The future is uncertain. we can't decide that biology is going to be like this forever.
See, world
Like,
is different as of now, but still suffering is there, right? What is the difference? You are just suffering in a different way. Okay, like a few centuries ago, there was no internet, right? So people were
yeah,
suffering because we didn't have much connectivity around the globe, right? Internet
yeah,
came, lot like many of our sufferings got solved, right? We have good connectivity across the globe. But what happened? Along with internet came dark web. So people are monetizing child pornography through dark web. So they came to know that you
yes.
can like make money using children. So children getting sexually abused increased, right? Number of children getting sexually abused because that can be
No
monetized.
way, no way,
So
no way.
so let me finish it. Let me finish it. Okay. So earlier there was a slavery of black people, right? There was apartheid. Right. Then that got abolished. Then black people are having a better life now. They are not suffering as much as before. But what is the condition of animals right now? Due to industrialized farming, the size of their cages are reducing, right, day by day. So in battery cages, chickens are suffering much more than those chickens who suffered like centuries ago because their cages were bigger at least. Right. So today's industrial procedures in industries are much more cruel and much more. It is causing much more suffering than some time ago. So suffering is just a
Yes.
changing form. It is just transferring from one group to another, or it is just a changing form. So earlier people were suffering from starvation. Today people are even suffering from obesity.
But,
Right. Obesity is also a
so
suffering.
what
So
does
see, people are able to live longer now, but I don't know whether that's a good thing because people are living for longer time, suffering more pain, right? So all these
okay?
things are see, condition do change. World is changing. I do agree, but it doesn't mean that suffering is changing. Suffering is there. It's constant. Continuously, people are suffering.
All right. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. But but here's the thing: what's a better solution to suffering? To eliminate the cause of the suffering, or to delete the whole organism altogether?
That's what I'm saying.
And
The
here's
cause of suffering, is sentient existence. That's what I'm saying. The cause of suffering
yeah,
is our makeup, right? The cause of suffering is how we are, how we are made, right? We have a central nervous system which is susceptible to suffering, right? Because
so
suffering
here's
is
an argument.
inevitable part. Well, just a second. Suffering is inevitable part of sentient existence. It this
Yes,
feature, this characteristic we got through evolution, because only those animals who can suffer, who can feel pain, escaped from predators, from harsh weather conditions, etc., those beings only survived. So evolutionarily it's
okay,
a necessary trait. If sentient beings have to survive, they will need to suffer. So the cause of suffering is
okay.
sentient existence, so we have to eliminate that.
So okay, now
Yeah.
here's an argument. Here's another argument. I agree with a
Mm.
lot of what you just said. Okay,
Mm.
here's another. So society is composed of individuals all working
Mm.
together. Your
Mm.
body is only individual cells working together.
Mm.
And could you imagine if you had a broken foot and it was like necrotic and it was infected? Would you commit suicide or would you amputate the foot?
Can you repeat that? If I had what?
Okay, if you had a broken foot and it was
Broken
like
foot.
infected,
Okay. Huh. Okay.
yeah, would you amputate the foot or would you commit suicide?
Hmm. Actually, if I don't have like, I am living as of now because I have a duty to do. I am a sentient, like I am an intelligent being, right? I can help all those animals who are not intelligent, who doesn't have intellectual capacity like humans, right? They don't have a choice to choose for euthanasia for themselves, right? Choose not to reproduce. They don't know that because their intellectual capacity is very less compared to humans. So we have to help them out. That's why we are existing. We extinctionists are existing as of now. Otherwise, I don't have a need. I don't have to suffer from an injured feet. Why should I suffer? Right? If I was not born, I don't care whether I live or why should I suffer all this?
Okay,
See,
that's a
a person
perfect
who
point.
doesn't exist, a person who doesn't exist doesn't have a want or a need to have any pleasure or a good experience, right? So if you are not born, you are not worried whether you will be able to experience, have good experience, whether you will be able to travel, whether you will be able to have tasty food. All these things doesn't matter for you, right? Whether you have an injured feet, all these things doesn't matter. So if I'm in such a situation and if I don't have anything else to do in this world, I'll just choose to, if I'm living in a country where assisted euthanasia is legal, I would choose to go euthanize myself.
Okay, right.
Even
So
I don't even have to suffer a prick of a pin. It's not necessary.
okay, so I would
Yeah.
personally choose to survive at all costs because I enjoy my existence. I'm fortunate. I'm very
Mhm.
grateful for my life, and
Hmm.
there are a lot of people that are also like I think that we shouldn't extrapolate. Yeah, like you say, we shouldn't
Hmm.
impose our beliefs on other people.
Hmm.
I don't believe
See,
I should impose my life.
yeah, I'm fine with like whatever you choose. Okay, if you want to leave, I don't want to come and kill you or something. If you want to leave, it's up to you. But it's not up to you when your choice is affecting someone else, right? When your choice to live is causing inevitable suffering to somebody else, then it cannot be allowed. That is the thing, right?
Well,
Because
I
you
feel
want
like
to
that's in
live,
the world.
because you want to live, you want to continue life in this world. If we continue life in this world, some other beings are going to suffer inevitably because of your choice. Then your choice becomes a burden for us.
That's assuming that my net effect in the world is negative.
Hmm.
Where I try to be as positive as possible. I once saved this whole forest, not forest. It was like a green path that had trees on the side that was burning down, and I was the only person there. And I called the fire brigade and whatever on it, and that made me feel really good. I felt like I saved the whole place, and so
Hmm.
I try to be good in the world,
See,
and I think my
I do
existence is
agree.
positive.
See, I do agree that you feel very good. So in that case of trolley problem, you said that you will pull the lever and kill that one person. So that one person also was that single individual who was killed for saving five people. That single individual also enjoyed all these things, right? He also enjoyed wind, trees, right, nature, food, good food. And if you ask him, he will never choose to. He will never say that okay, kill me so that you can save five people, right? But you chose to kill that person to save five people. So in this
Yeah,
situation, in the situation where we are talking about extinctionism, you are that single individual whom I will have to sacrifice to save billions and millions, sorry, trillions or quintillions of other sentient beings from coming into this world and suffering.
well, here's the thing. We are you to me. I give intelligent life value over unintelligent life. Like
Mm.
I think
Okay.
that the universe, like increasing intelligence over time, it's complexifying over time. Humans are the most
Mm.
intelligent beings on the planet right now. The
Mm.
development of life, the future of life is depending on human success. The next
Mm.
stage of life beyond us is depending on human success. And so I feel I am
Who is the
obligated to stay alive.
who is depending on human sexes?
The next stage of life, the life beyond whatever kind of life we are, the life beyond us is
See,
dependent on us.
nothing in this world else than sentient beings expect anything.
Not yet.
That is a
Well,
fact.
before in the past, there was nothing beyond single-celled organisms.
Yeah, and I don't know why intelligent beings should be considered more than unintelligent, non-intelligent beings. I don't know why. So, won't you give any moral consideration for a person who is mentally challenged or mentally retarded?
Oh no, well, we're part of the same species. To me, to my existence is improved by the existence of other people.
See, you
So it's not
value
as zero
humans
sum game.
because you said that they are intelligent, right? They are intelligent life.
Yeah,
But a mentally challenged or a mentally retarded person is not intelligent.
life isn't a zero-sum game.
Sorry.
So life isn't a zero-sum game, and also it's a lot of complexities to these situations. Like if it was a trolley problem between a disabled person and an intelligent person, if the intelligent person says I'm willing to die, I would I will let the disabled person who wants to live survive. It's complicated. You have to take every circumstance for itself, like, and also you don't know what decision you're going to make in the moment. But I value human life highly above other kinds of life because we are the most complex form of life that exists on the planet today.
See,
Yeah.
not all of the humans are similarly complex in the same way, right?
Oh, to me,
There are there are also premature babies. There are also mentally retarded people who are just like animals.
yeah,
Their
but we have
intellectual capacity will be similar to animals. So if you are
there exists.
discriminating based on, if you are discriminating based on level of intelligence, you should be discriminating like MR patients also.
No, I'm not discriminating between people. I'm discriminating between species. So
So what is the reason?
what's my reason? Because I
Mm.
think that the life is valuable, and the
Mm.
most complex forms of life are going to make life more resilient and make life more interesting, and I feel like that has value. So I value that. Like I would
Interesting for
rather the
whom?
world have ants than bacteria.
Life more interesting for whom?
For me, yeah.
So all your moral decisions are dependent on what makes the world interesting for you, right?
Well, my moral decisions come from deeper within me. Like I'm just a
Okay.
consciousness. Like I value intelligence, so my
So
moral decisions
so if you feel
duty.
that if you feel that chickens are not much interesting, they are not much sexy, then just they don't matter. We can do anything with them, right? But
Oh, they matter. They really matter. Chickens are an integral part of civilization. But
chickens.
like this civilization we're part of is not just humans. It's all the species that are part of civilization working together. Like
Mm.
civilization is humans and chickens, and all like
Okay.
the farms.
So
We're all part of a
monkeys.
community.
What about
Like
monkeys?
monkeys fill a role in nature. Monkeys are part of the
Mm.
natural cycle. All life has value if it's part of the natural cycle, unless it's invasive. If it's like fabricated and it's destructive, and it's like a
Mm.
genetically modified monstrosity, then yeah, just get rid of that.
Mm.
But if it's unless it's a sentient being and it has a moral value in it, but if it's just like a phage,
Mhm.
it's just like a
So
cow,
actually,
then
I
yeah,
didn't
kill
get
that.
your point. Like how you separate, like how you distinguish between, like you say that you discriminate between species. So what is that reason actually? You told first you told that it is because of the level of intelligence. You value intelligent beings more. Then I showed you the example of mentally retarded people. So you said that it's not about intelligence. Then what is it about actually?
We exist in a community. We are not isolated individuals. So yeah, we treat
Uh,
each individuals on an individual basis, but we are not
mm,
isolated. We are part of we are part of a community, and the
mm.
disabled person is part of the same community that I'm a part of, and so
And
their life
who
is
decides
valued.
whether and who decides whether who all are the part of community?
The individuals inside the community.
So I consider all the sentient
Um,
beings in this. So I consider all the sentient beings in this world who can feel pain and suffering as part of my community.
yeah, and I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. So I, so I advocate for moral consideration for all of them.
Yeah, and so also like
Mm.
people have sentimental value for other people that know them as well. So like a disabled person, like
Mm.
even a rock that isn't alive, if it has
Mm.
sentimental value to a bunch of people, then that sentimental value is real, and so that rock has real value to the world. Like it's like I say, when I say I discriminate between species, that might come off a little bit harsh. I find that but yeah, if I could choose between a cow and a person living, I would choose a person every single time.
Okay, so if I get a chance to discriminate between a white person and a black person, I'll discriminate the black person. Is that okay?
No.
That's not
If
okay.
it's two
Is
people
that
I
okay
don't
or not?
know,
Like,
then they're equal to
huh?
me. If I had to value between, if I had to discriminate between someone that was inside my community that I knew and someone outside my community that I didn't know, I would select the person that I know. But
See,
if it's
that's
two
what I'm
people I
asking
don't
you.
know,
So, yeah, so okay, I'm an Indian and you are a British, right? So, if I get a chance to discriminate, I'll discriminate the British. Am I a good person or a bad person?
your self-selection bias is ingrained in our programming. So
So it's a bias, right?
you're a good person. If you discriminate against me and choose someone that you relate to, then you're still a good person. But
Hmm. I didn't get you. So if I am discriminating black people in a situation where I can discriminate, am I a good person or a bad person? Am I
so
morally right or wrong?
if it's two people you don't know, then you're judging people based off race, and that we've decided that's wrong. That's wrong. That's I think that's
That's
you're
wrong, right?
discriminating based off race.
That's wrong,
Yeah.
right? So in the same way, if you are discriminating a cow from a human, that's also wrong in the same way.
Well, the division between like relatability and to you, a human is much more valuable to you than a cow.
I don't say
So
that.
okay,
I don't say
I
it.
would
See, it doesn't matter.
so
My personally, whom I value, it doesn't matter. I might, if I value my family more than other people who live around me, it doesn't mean that my family deserves more like moral consideration while coming to a moral judgment, right? Like while in a situation where I can judge ethically,
but how
right?
but
Whether
how
it's
would you
my mother or
oh,
whether it's my mother or somebody else's mother, they can feel the same pain, they can feel suffer equally, right? Both of them doesn't deserve to suffer.
but
Mm.
if you came to the moral judgment, if you came to that moral judgment, how would you make the decision?
See, that's why I take the decision of causing extinction, because nobody had to suffer. Not a cow, not a human, not a black person, not a white person, right? Not from my family, not from somebody who doesn't I know, who I doesn't know. None of them had to suffer.
Uh, but what if they want?
So you are the
But
one.
if they still
So
want to
you
live,
are the. So you are the one who is actually taking a decision to continue life, so that there will be chances for people to discriminate in the future. So in my decision,
okay,
I
so
cause extinction. There will be no discrimination. There will be no suffering.
I'm biologically programmed to continue the human species. And so
Mm.
if I just decided to live my most authentic self with then no moral judgments on anything, the human species would continue.
See, if you say that you are biologically programmed to continue life, and you are not going to give any moral reason for that, ethical reason for that, and it is not required, then I am also going to say that I am biologically programmed to cause extinction, and I don't. I also don't have to give you any reason, right?
But that's not true though. You're
Why that's
culturally
not true?
programmed to want to extinct.
What?
I guess that's true. Okay, okay,
And
yeah.
again, culture is also a product of evolution.
I will concede that point,
Mm.
but I still believe that if you let the population act upon itself and the population continues to survive, choosing to kill
Mm.
the population is imposing something onto the population. It's like you, you are imposing. Like what I was trying to say earlier. You're imposing things onto people, no matter what decision you
Mm.
make. If you choose them to live, you're imposing life onto them. If you're choosing them to die, you're imposing death onto them.
Mm.
And in the world
Mm.
that exists today, more people want to live than people that want to die. More people
How?
would rather. than death.
See, how do you even say that? You can say for yourself, okay, more people who lives today, you can see. So,
Okay,
so the quintillions of being tomorrow, like who are going to be born tomorrow, how can you say that they want to live or they want to die? How can you say that?
because right now, around 20% of people have suicidal thoughts at some point in their life.
Mm.
But that's not the
Mm.
active desire for death, that's just suicidal thoughts. And so the
Mm.
majority of people, 80% of people want to live. And
Mm.
because I see value in life itself, because I see value in the very phenomenon of life
See,
itself,
I
I
told you all these things already. Like whether you see value in any bullshit or whether like 99.99 percentage of the people want to live or anything, it cannot justify the suffering of even a single being, right? Because of your
why
decision,
not?
because of your want to live. If one child is going to get sexually abused tomorrow, that is not acceptable.
So why is it acceptable? Why is it not acceptable? That's it. Okay,
See,
so explain why it's not
if
acceptable.
pleasure can actually justify suffering, then gang rape also can be justified, right? Because by raping, by sexually abusing one girl, like if you say that some 100 men are getting pleasure, is it justifiable?
Intention is There's a different intention. Intention is
There is
everything.
intention.
So
There is intention. If you are choosing to continue life, you already know that in future beings will suffer. They'll come to this world
let
inevitably, and inevitably they are going to suffer. Okay. Still
let me
after
ask
knowing
let me
that,
ask
you are choosing to continue life, that is intention. You are imposing that suffering on that person. So if you have an option to cause suffering today and you doesn't cause that, and you know that tomorrow sufferings are going to happen, and if tomorrow a child gets sexually abused, you are equally liable to that crime. You are also a criminal.
oh,
Yes, because you
that's
already
not
know
true.
that your action of not causing extinction, continuing life, is going to cause sexual abuse to that child or going to cause cancer to that child. Then you are responsible to
Yeah,
what that child suffers.
my choice to continue life will also cause all the good things.
Whatever, that's what I'm saying, whatever good thing you cause in this world, how can you say that, how can you justify one child suffering from that? What actually, you just say an answer to this. What good thing in this world can justify like one child getting sexually abused or raped?
That's a leading question because any response I give to that, I would be saying, oh,
Hmm.
you're condoning uh, all the bad.
So if you
You're
make a
also
statement, if you make an argument, you will have to justify that. So if you have to justify your argument, you will have to say this. What good
I
thing
will
in
just
this world can be a reason to cause to say, let one child suffering from sexual abuse?
okay. I will one causing extinction will cause a lot of suffering, no matter how short term it is.
Mm.
But also, the child wants to live.
Mm.
By continuing life, I am following through with the child's wishes. Like the child will probably cry and
See,
weep
we
tears
discussed all
if
this
it found
already,
out.
right? We discussed about the trolley problem already. That one person in that railway track wants to leave, but you'll not mind his want to leave, mind his consent, because you will have to save five other people from suffering, right? So I have to save all the future generations from meaninglessly suffering. So I'll have to deny
Okay,
your consent or your want to leave. Hmm.
okay. So we're going for the child being assaulted argument. What would that child's response be if it found out that you were going to click that button because of the child? What would the child's response
Hmm.
be if it found out you were going to kill everyone
It's not
because of
because
that
of
child?
one child. It is not because of one child. It is because of infinite number of children who are going to be born tomorrow.
What would all their responses be?
Hmm?
What? So if you got all those children,
They are not in
aggregate
a
all their
position to respond. That's why we had to cause extinction.
why do we have the right to do that? Why do we have the right to make the decision that
Why
we
do you
do?
have the right to? Why do you have the right to impose life, impose suffering on countless number of beings just because you want to enjoy your life? How do you get that right?
because they want to live too.
Because you want to live, that can justify, that gives you the right to impose life and suffering on countless number of sentient beings. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
So you have
because
the
they
want
want
to
to live
live.
too.
You have the want to live. I have the want to eradicate suffering. Every living sentient in this being, in the being living in this world, have the want not to suffer, to escape from suffering. Right? That gives me the right to cause extinction.
People go through a whole lot of suffering not to die. People value living
What
and
is the meaning
suffering
of
over
all
death.
that? What is the meaning of all that?
What is the meaning?
So
Like,
if those
the
people
meaning
were
for
not
everyone.
born, so if those people were not born, if all those people who struggled a lot and just to die finally, if those people were not born, they don't have to even struggle, right?
But they want to live. They would want to be born.
Mhm.
Like I know we can't say that for everyone. There'll be a
They
small
want to be
percentage,
born.
and
How do you know that? How do you say that somebody want to be born before they are born?
in fact, the reason why this isn't making sense, the reason why my arguments aren't making sense, and the reason why is
Mm.
because we're talking about people that don't exist.
Mm.
Like this is back to my like I know I'm just repeating the same argument as before, but we like
I'll just say one thing. Actually, our debate is done. Actually, you agreed that since you agreed with the trolley problem, our debate is done. You said that in order to save five people, you will have to cause suffering to one person. In the same way, in order to save billions and trillions, sorry, quintillions and quintillions of future generation, you will have to cause suffering to one generation, right? Even by denying their want to live, right? That's
so
all. Debate is done.
from my perspective, you have the trolley problem, and you're
Mm.
choosing to just kill them all. You've got the choice
Mm.
between one, the choice between five. You're choosing to kill them all.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? Today's generation, it is just a 20 quintillion. If they continue to live and procreate, it will be like 40 quintillion tomorrow, and they will also suffer and die. It will be like 80 quintillion tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, they will also suffer and die, right? So I'm saving like a infinite number of beings by
Okay,
sacrificing
but
just a 20 quintillion.
how will that prevent a life arising again and producing another sentient species again?
Another sentient species. See, that is another question regarding. So we advocate for eradication of the root cause of life itself.
So how is that not just destroying, killing everyone on the trolley problem?
Hmm?
Like, how is that just not killing everyone? So the only thing that wants to die is a minority of humans, and
What?
because we don't want to impose a single piece of suffering on anything ever, we're choosing to go against the wishes of the biomass of the planet.
See,
We're
I don't
choosing to
care
kill
about this
everyone.
biomass, this planet, this universe, its consciousness. I don't care about all these things. I just care about sentient living beings who can suffer.
Well, I care about all sentient living beings, including the ones that can suffer. And so, like, and the majority of them want to live. I don't want to like.
I told you, if a majority of you want to enjoy, it is not a reason to cause suffering to a single child, right? If you are saying that 8 billion people have to enjoy their life on the cost, at the cost of one single child, it is not acceptable. Even if it is 8 billion
So
or if it is like 100 billion, how much ever you increase that number, I cannot sacrifice, I cannot give up one child for you, right? I cannot give, I let one child suffer extremely for your desires, for your enjoyment, right?
if my child just so happened to suffer,
Mhm.
my it's not their suffering isn't. It's a byproduct of what I've done, but it is not me doing it. Like I am not responsible for suffering that isn't related towards my intentions. Like
See, this responsibility and all, it depends on how morally responsible you are. Like how you define the responsibility, right? As an intelligent sentient being, I am responsible to each and every suffering happening in this world because I know about all these sufferings. I have the intellectual capacity to understand it and to prevent it, right? So I am responsible for all of that. It is easy to wash your hands off from your responsibilities, right? If a child is getting abused just nearby my house in my neighborhood, I can, if I'm a very selfish being, I can just say that it's not my responsibility to go till there and prevent that, right? But if I'm a responsible
I
being,
see what
if I'm a morally good person, I'll take up that responsibility and I'll save that child.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's all.
but here's the thing: that child probably wanted to live no matter what happened. Like, we sure presenting suffering is dead.
See,
There's something like
everyone probably want to live more, no matter what happens, but everyone will die. That is a fact. Even if you cause
yes,
extinction or
okay,
not, you are going to die.
yeah,
See, if you see animals,
okay,
animals don't want to die. Animals don't want to die, not just by my hands, but also by, like, animals don't want another animals to like hunt them also, right? Animals don't want to die out of bad weather. Animals don't want to die out of starvation, right? None of these deaths, none of these sufferings they want. So when
okay.
you are
Why
imposing
do
life,
we try to
when you are choosing to continue life, you are imposing all these things. You are denying their want to live, or like want to escape suffering. All these things you are denying, right? So
so
if I'm causing
here's the thing.
extinction, I am just denying the want to live for a one generation, and saving like infinite number of generations from all these sufferings.
Okay, here's a question: why is
Mm.
suffering make death? Why does suffering make death necessary?
Because while somebody is living, it is inevitable. Suffering is inevitable, right? Life, when life exists.
Yeah, but why? Okay, it's inevitable, but so is I don't know, standing up. So is breathing. Why specifically does suffering make death necessary?
It is because how we are, how sentient beings are evolved.
No, that's yeah. Suffering's inevitable, but suffering's just an emotion.
Yeah, suffering is
Like
inevitable is a fact. You are asking me why it is inevitable. It's just a fact. Suffering is inevitable.
no,
There is no why for that.
why does that make death
Hmm?
necessary? Why does suffering make
Because
non-existence?
because suffering is inevitable part of life. Only non-existence can stop suffering, right?
If I go for a run, a really hard run, and I suffer during it, but I end the run and I feel fantastic and I'm glad that I suffered.
See, I
You know what I'm trying to
agree.
say?
I leave it okay. Like you run, or you enjoy running, or you enjoy getting abused, or you enjoy having cancer, or you enjoy a tsunami or earthquake. I am fine with that. I have a problem when you are saying that I enjoy tsunami, so let others also should. They can also enjoy tsunami. You cannot say that, right?
Well, no, I enjoy life. I feel like
So you enjoy getting abused. So you enjoy getting abused. So you don't have to mind any other person getting abused, because I enjoy that, right? So if I come tomorrow and I say
no,
that, yeah, I enjoy getting beaten up. So nobody who is getting beaten up in this world needs any moral consideration. Let them get beaten up. It's fine.
what I'm
I
trying
cannot
to
say
say,
that, right?
what I'm trying to say
Mm.
is that the only
Mm.
connection between suffering and death is
Mm.
that becoming dead can cause suffering, and
Mm.
suffering can sometimes make you want to die. Those are the
Mm.
those are the connections, but those are the only connections. The
Mm.
connection between suffering and death is just adaptive, but suffering
Mm.
doesn't justify someone not existing. Suffering like it's a part of life, but that doesn't imply someone doesn't
See.
exist.
I'll give you one small example. Okay, so you are sitting inside a room. Okay, you have some 100 people in your room. Okay, so one person is going to on the air conditioner. Okay, so you are going to on the air conditioner. So like it's going to be extremely cold inside that room, and almost like 99 people in that room are fine with that extreme coolness, right? You and
Yeah,
other 99 people are going to be fine with that extreme coolness. They enjoy that. But one person in that room has a health condition so that he cannot tolerate coolness. Right? He cannot tolerate that cold. So he will suffer extremely. So will you choose to like on that AC, or will you choose to off that AC or air conditioner?
Oh, I would choose to not kill everyone in the room.
No,
I
no, no,
would
no, no.
choose to not kill everyone in the room.
Not kill anyone. I'm saying like 99 people, 19. There are 100 people in the room. If you on the air conditioner, 99 people are going to enjoy, but one person is going to suffer extremely due to his health condition. Okay. So will you choose
No,
to on that
I would
air
not.
conditioner or not? You will not on
No,
the air conditioner, right? You will not on the air
I
conditioner,
would
right?
not use the air conditioner. I would not use the air conditioner. But what would you do?
Yeah,
Would you
yeah,
kill
yeah.
everyone?
So that is the thing. So that is the thing. The pleasure of even 99% doesn't matter when it comes to the suffering of a single person, right? So in
Yeah,
that 100 people, you care about that single person who will suffer due to that air conditioner, right?
yeah,
So you won't mind that 99 people who would lose all their pleasures, right? They would be having fun. If you on that air conditioner, they'll not be able to have fun. So you won't mind that
yeah,
99 people, you would mind the sufferer. So that is what I am saying.
yeah.
Only sufferer
You're saying,
matters in case of morality. Only sufferer matters in case of morality. Even if you say that 99.9 percentage people in this world are enjoying life, they want to continue life. So compare this life to this air conditioner. Okay, so 99% people want to on the air conditioner, they want to continue life, but one person is suffering extremely, they don't want to experience life. So that sufferer matters for me, not those 99 percentage
yeah,
privileged people, right? Their
yeah,
pleasure doesn't matter for me, but the suffering of this single individual matters for me.
but you're saying that there is
Mm.
a third option, and there's a button on the wall. You click it, and everyone dies, so no one has to suffer.
Mm. So if you click a button and like everybody will vanish, means that is done. Nobody will want to experience the coolness of an air conditioner. Nobody will suffer due to extreme cold, right? Nobody will need any
No,
like none of the things in this world they will need. So that is the best
okay,
option. Mm.
okay. So you go over to reach that button. How would they
Mm.
respond?
I don't care, man. However they respond. See, bro. Actually, this
Why?
debate is done. I think like we have crossed all. Like already we have passed 1 hour 15 minutes. We can like we can
Why do you not
continue.
want them to respond?
Maybe I will do one thing. We'll go on an Instagram live tomorrow. We'll continue the discussion tomorrow because I didn't have my dinner yet. So
Okay, right.
yeah.
Okay, yes, I
So
enjoyed this
like
conversation, by the way.
so you can just can you just message me on Proextinction Instagram page? We'll go on a live tomorrow or whenever you have time.
Oh, sorry. What do you want me to do? Send you a message?
Hello. Yeah, I like
Hello. Sorry.
yeah. Are you following our Instagram page Proextinction?
I shall follow it now.
Yeah, Proextinction. Proextinction.
Yeah, I think I'm. Hang on a second. Now I'm struggling to find it. Instagram.
Yeah.
Posting.
So you can just
Follow.
message me on that tomorrow or whenever you have time. We can go on a live together. Today I have like I just reached back from work. I just have to. So already we crossed 1 hour.
Yeah.
So tomorrow or whenever you have time, we can continue the discussion.
Okay. I'm really sorry for missing the meeting this morning. By the way.
No, 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 no. It was a good discussion actually. I hope that you will think about all these points. I know like suddenly you are like exposed to all these ideas, all these arguments. So you are. I think you are little bit. You are taking time to digest all these things. So you can take time. You can think about it, and if you agree with us, you can inform me. Or if you have any other argument against us, you can discuss that also later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'll
Yeah,
make an
nice meeting
effort.
you. Nice. Yeah,
Nice meeting
I
you
think
too.
it was a good debate. Yeah.
Good. Good. Right. See ya.
Okay, let's see you. See you. See you, bro. Yeah.